5 hidden signs a Toyota hybrid battery is dying without any warning lights on. Prius, Camry Hybrid, RAV4 Hybrid, Lexus RX and ES. Everyone assumes the dash will scream at you when the high-voltage battery starts to go. Sometimes it does, but a lot of packs get weak long before you see "check hybrid system." If you catch those early clues, you can plan ahead instead of getting stranded. You can sometimes fix cooling or minor issues before the pack really cooks, and you can avoid throwing money at the wrong part, like the inverter or engine, because the symptoms are confusing. I'm GearHead. I care about what the car is telling you before the computer gives up. Make sure you're subscribed. You'll understand these signs better than most people behind the service counter. Here are 5 hidden signs your Toyota hybrid battery may be dying even with no warning lights. 1. The state of charge gauge swings like crazy. On the dash or the energy screen, you've got a battery bar or graph. In a healthy pack on most Toyotas, the gauge moves but gradually. In normal driving, it might hover mid-range, go down a bit on hills, and up a bit on braking. When modules start to get weak, you'll see the gauge plummet from almost full to low in a very short time under moderate load. Then it will climb back to near full unusually fast with light regen or engine charging. It may yo-yo between high and low several times in one trip. What's happening is that some modules in the pack have lost capacity or have higher internal resistance, or both. Under load, the voltage on those weak modules drops quickly, so the engine control unit sees a low charge. When charging, their voltage rises quickly, even though they don't actually hold much energy, so the engine control unit thinks it's nearly full. The computer is trying to keep the pack within its safe window, but the effective capacity has shrunk. There are no codes yet, but that seesaw behavior is your first big clue. 2. The engine runs more often and louder than it used to. One of the joys of a healthy Toyota hybrid is that the engine shuts off a lot at low speed. It glides in EV mode in parking lots and light city use. Takeoffs can be quiet if you're gentle. As the pack becomes weaker, the system has less usable electric energy to play with. You may notice the engine kicking on at times it never used to, at light throttle, low speed, or even with a decent battery bar. The engine might stay on longer and idle more at stoplights instead of shutting off, and EV mode might be reluctant to stay engaged even in warm weather on level ground. This is because the hybrid control senses the pack can't support a prolonged motor load. It keeps the engine involved to avoid dragging the pack into voltage sag. Essentially, the car leans more on the internal combustion engine because it doesn't trust the battery anymore. Many owners chalk this up to maybe the car is just getting old, but it's often an early sign the high-voltage battery isn't what it used to be. Fuel economy slowly drops for no obvious reason. Hybrids live on their battery's ability to provide assist at low and mid speeds, capture braking energy and reuse it, and let the engine shut off instead of idling. When the pack is getting tired, less assist from the motor means the engine does more work. Less effective regen means more energy is wasted as heat in the brakes, and the engine can't shut off as often, meaning more idle time. The result is that your average miles per gallon drops noticeably compared to what you used to get on the same routes with the same driving style and tires. We're not talking about winter fuel blend changes, new aggressive tires, or a rooftop box dragging aero down. We're talking about a situation where you used to see 48 to 50 miles per gallon on a commute, and now you see 40 to 42 miles per gallon, and nothing else changed. A weak battery doesn't always scream with a big failure. Sometimes it just slowly makes the car act more and more like a regular gas car, and your fuel bill tells the story first. The engine races on hills and acceleration feels flatter. Another subtle one. On a healthy hybrid, when you merge or climb a hill, the electric motor gives a strong shove down low. The engine might rev, but the car surges nicely. The whole system feels torquey for its size. As the pack deteriorates, the electric motor can't sustain as much current for as long. The engine has to cover more of the power demand by itself. The control system may spin the engine higher to make up the difference. Essentially, the car leans more on the internal combustion engine because it doesn't trust the battery anymore. Many people blame the CVT-like behavior by saying these things just drone. But if you can directly compare the same hill, the same load, the same speed and pedal input, and notice worse shove, it may be the hybrid side no longer able to deliver its share. 5. The cooling fan in the back is running more and louder. Toyota hybrids usually cool the high-voltage battery by drawing cabin air through a vent near the rear seat or cargo area and blowing it across the pack with a battery cooling fan. In normal use, you might rarely notice this fan at lower speeds. It'll kick on more in hot weather, uphill, or under heavy load, but not all the time. As the battery ages and internal resistance rises, the cells run hotter under the same load. The hybrid engine control unit ramps the cooling fan more often and at higher speeds to protect them. You may start to notice a whirring or vacuum cleaner-like noise from the back seat or cargo area more frequently, the fan blasting even in mild temps with light driving, and the fan speed ramping quickly under moderate acceleration where it didn't before. An extra twist, if the fan intake is clogged with dust and pet hair, the pack will run hotter still, accelerating aging. A dying pack runs the fan more, a clogged fan cooks the pack more. It's a vicious loop. So, if the fan is running a lot more often, plus there are other signs on this list, it's time to pay attention.
Bonus: what a proper scan tool will show before the car admits there's a problem. Even with no warning lights, a hybrid-savvy scan with something like TechStream for Toyota or a good aftermarket tool can expose weak modules long before a P0A80 replace hybrid battery pack code shows up. Things you or a shop can look at include block voltages under load. Weak blocks will sag more under acceleration. Look for voltage differences between blocks. More than about a 0.3 volt spread under the same conditions can be suspicious. Look at internal resistance estimates. Higher internal resistance in a few blocks versus the rest means those modules are tired. The car might still be hiding it via aggressive management, but it's coming. Look at temperature sensor readings. Hotter sensors in one part of the pack can indicate stressed or failing modules in that segment. Hybrid engine control units are conservative. You don't get a code the first day something looks off. They wait until certain thresholds and patterns are confirmed. But the data often shows deterioration earlier than the light does. What you should do if you see these signs. If you're noticing wild state of charge swings, more engine runtime, dropped miles per gallon, a weaker shove on hills, or the battery fan blasting all the time, don't panic, but don't ignore it. Step 1. Clean the battery fan intake and ducts. This is important especially if you have pets or use the rear seats or cargo area a lot. Sometimes lowering temps and restoring airflow can stabilize a pack that's on the edge. Step 2. Get a proper hybrid health check. Find a shop that actually knows Toyota and Lexus hybrids. Ask for block-level voltage and resistance analysis and live data capture under load. Step 3. Plan, don't react. Early signs mean you have time to save for a pack or consider options. You're not in tow truck today territory yet, you're in smart owner territory. Step 4. Consider your options. A new OEM pack is best long-term but has a higher cost. A quality remanufactured pack from a respected hybrid specialist, or module repair and balancing, which is a band-aid. Only chase this if you understand the risks. The real trap is waiting until the dash lights up and the car goes into limp mode. That's when you have no leverage on timing, cost, or options. If this opened your eyes to how Toyota hybrid batteries actually fade, not just one day they die, and you want the same level of forensic clarity for engines, transmissions, DPFs, and everything else, make sure you're subscribed. I'm GearHead. Every hybrid pack has a story long before the warning light, and together we're going to start reading those stories early, so you're never surprised by a four-figure quote you could see coming.